to another episode of the Big Tuddies Fantasy Football Podcast. My name is Sammer, and I'm hanging out with Tony and Poppy Latte. Boys, week 2 in the books. I'm 2-0. Not sure how the two of you guys are doing, but let's hit the ground running. Injuries are probably the most important thing to talk about following a fantasy football week. So, Tony, what do we need to be crying over right now? Is everything good?
Well, I mean, some news. You had David Montgomery. He's going to be out for a couple of weeks. That could be a nice little uptick for Jahmyr Gibbs. Don't get too excited. We did see, what was his name? Craig Reynolds, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Came in to fill in. Saw a little more of him than I think people really expected. Everybody's ready to unleash the beast. Maybe with a week to get things together to really scheme them in. But something to note, their big bruiser back is going to be out.
Yes. That one, it's interesting because I have Jahmyr Gibbs in a couple of leagues. I've said earlier he's my draft crush, but I was expecting a huge uptick. I'm hoping that, like Tony said, that with a week to prepare, they get him more involved in the game plan because Reynolds ain't it. It ain't it. But he was definitely he assumed that David Montgomery role. As far as the next injury on the list, there's a player that I have. I had some reservations. I told Tony about taking him because of injuries. Saquon Barkley. Whew. So on one hand, I'm thankful, I'm grateful that he's okay first and foremost, right? Because like Tony said last week, these guys are human beings first, okay, guys? It's not just about fantasy football. But had an ankle sprain on a meaningless play. They were just setting up to kick the ball. I'm not sure why they even handed it off to Saquon at that point. He got rolled up on. According to the team, avoided major injury. They did an MRI today to make sure there wasn't a high ankle sprain, which could have been really ugly. Ended up being just a traditional, regular ankle sprain. They're going to hold him out 3 weeks, they're saying.
3?
Wasn't expecting him to play. Yeah, 3 weeks. I wasn't expecting him to play against San Francisco anyways. But yeah, 3 weeks is what they're going to hold him out. So I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and I like I said last week, don't talk trash to players that got hurt. If you want to talk trash to other guys, go for it. But yeah, we had a few more. A couple guys got their head rattled. We had Jaylen Waddle, Devontae Adams, and one of the big ones that kind of takes a little wind out of the sails, Anthony Richardson. He's a rookie, so we really don't know how he's going to bounce back. Some guys deal with concussions differently, so fingers crossed, that doesn't kind of derail their season for a bit. And then another big one of note, Joey B. The end of the game.
Oof.
We re-aggravated that same calf. So they're also talking, he's up in the air for week 3. Not sure if they're going to be ready or if he's going to be ready for the Rams, which is also not good because they haven't really seemed like they've really had all the rhythm that they've been looking for.
What do you do there, though, Tony? If he plays, you got to play him. If he plays,
oh yeah,
the draft capital you have, right, Sammer? Like, if you have any shares of Joe Burrow or any Jamar Chase? Like, if he plays, you got to play him.
I don't know. He hasn't looked great. That's all I know. So I don't know if I would play him.
It's in him.
Yeah, it's in there. I'm sure he'll shake it off, but you can tell he's not. That whole offense is just not right.
If you have another choice, maybe you look at the matchup. But I mean, I'm sure anyone that invested draft capital in Joe Burrow is probably high capital. I doubt you got somebody that you're willing, if he's going to start, that you're willing to start over him.
You mentioned Saquon earlier. Is it worth picking up his backup? Whoever
Breda?
comes in. Yeah, I'm not.
It's Breda.
Is it worth it?
I have Saquon. No, because he's playing against San Francisco. In my opinion, I'll let Tony give his opinion. He's the expert here, but I'm not picking Breda up to play him against San Francisco. I have my reservations about playing Saquon against San Francisco. I'm certainly not going to play his backup. I'm
definitely not playing against San Francisco. And to be honest, I don't know if I'm blowing much, waiver capital or fab for that matter. We've seen him before. We know who Matt Breida is. So, and also, something that we want to keep an eye on this week, Aaron Jones. He's out right now. We want to keep an eye on that. we definitely saw this week. A.J. Dillon is not the dude.
Not him. Not him.
Not him.
We hear a lot of him.
In limited time. He doesn't work as the guy.
No. Even when Aaron Jones and him were on the field week 1, you saw the difference. The first half, it was more A.J. Dillon, and then all of a sudden they went to Aaron Jones. The second half, blew the doors off of who did they play week 1? My God, why am I blanking?
It was division game.
The Bears.
I just remember when he was first a rookie that they were like, oh, maybe this guy should be the starter. This guy's eventually going to be the guy because he has such nice legs. And it's like,
guy's a stallion, bro. He does have nice legs. Quadzilla for sure.
Jones ain't nothing to sneeze at, right? That guy's a
and he got downplayed in draft season, and I don't get it. He's a pretty good all around back. He can get between the tackles every now and then. Yeah,
he's on my roster.
He's doing pretty good.
Yeah,
and
okay.
All right, so that's pretty much all I got for injuries. One thing, just news. Cam Akers owners. What is trouble in paradise? I guess.
I hope you put a claim on Kyron Williams. I stayed away from that situation, man. That was a night last year. Stayed away from it. I did want to touch on something because you mentioned Anthony Richardson. Holy shit, he was on his way to the moon. I'm sitting next to Sammer. We're both watching our fantasy thing as we're watching the Bucs play live. It's what we do. We're infected with this disease called loving football. We just can't get enough of it, right? So we're watching our fantasy shit as we're watching live football, and I'm like, bro, Anthony Richardson has 2 touchdowns in 5 minutes, rushing touchdowns. He's about to blow up.
BS the other day. If we continue to see him do this, we may. Steichen is the quarterback wizard. He's doing a great job, man.
He's going to be Jalen Hurts 2.0, man. He's going to be Jalen Hurts 2.0, and he might be more athletic, stronger, more of an alien than Jalen Hurts. Jalen kind of looks like a normal guy. This dude is an absolute alien. We got a brand new segment called Tops and Flops, which fits in perfectly with the name of the show, right? And I'll start with you, Tony. Tops for week 2, week 3. I don't know what you want to go with this, but let me hear your tops, and we'll go with yours after that, Latte.
We definitely saw a good turnaround this week. Last week, I think we were starving. We had a quarter, third or a quarter less touchdowns last week for week 1 than we had in years. Finally saw it get back to a little bit of the normal this week. We had some of the big guys actually perform this week. So, I've got a bunch.
You take mine.
Who you got? I don't want to take yours.
So we're switching. I'll go first. I will go first.
Because somebody take off their top already.
This is very easy. I'm taking my top off. Okay. Michael Timothy Evans. You guys know that this is a fantasy football show, but we all have a bias, right? Tony likes the Steelers. I'm not going to judge him. Sam and I are Bucs fans. Mike Evans has done it with everyone. I'm not sure why people continue to doubt the man. Every year, his ADP goes down because he's old. He's getting, there's no more Tom Brady. He did it with Mike, with Glennon, for Christ's sakes. With Glennon.
Everybody. Mm-hmm.
He's on my roster.
McCown. He did it with McCown. What is it?
20-something points yesterday. I was very happy with it.
7 points.
And they're balling, man.
As my third wide receiver.
6 catches, 171 yards, and a tutty. And Tony, we saw something that Sammer and I know very well. Maybe you guys don't out there that watch other teams. We saw something we haven't seen out of Mike ever, and that's yak. My boy was catching the ball. He was out. He was catching the space. I was like, this is different for Mike, bro.
He ran so long on one play, he was surprised and didn't even realize. He's like, how long is this field? Like, when is this going to end? He's like, I haven't done this since college. What's going on? They got the
jukes right now, man. It looks great. They're having a lot of fun, and it shows.
It shows. So who's your top? Who's your top?
Receiver, Puka, man. My darling little gem at the end of the dynasty draft. Had him sitting in a taxi spot. Almost disrespectful now. So yeah, man, Puka goes off 15 for 147. That's 266 yards in 2 weeks for a guy that everyone picked up with their last draft pick. He's looking really good. The Rams performing way better than we expected.
Way better.
So I'm just gonna ride the wave. He's coming off the taxi. He's starting next week.
Sammer looks a little lost. Sammer, he drives the show. Puka Nacua is a young receiver that the Rams have.
I know who he is.
Bro,
I know who he is.
20 targets, bro. 20 targets.
I wouldn't be rushing. I wouldn't be rushing Cooper Kupp back if I was the.
I just
the
rest
Rams,
up, Cooper.
right?
Let him rest.
Yeah.
Rest up, bro.
What happens when he does come back, though? We'll find
That's
out.
scary.
That'd be another episode. Yeah.
Interception, Derek Carr. Sorry, this is a live show, guys. Yes, we hate the Saints around here.
Hell yeah! I told you, Derek Carr doesn't know how to perform when the lights shine the brightest.
No.
He may not be as bad as Kirk Cousins, but he's still Derek Carr.
Derek Carr.
They had a statistic at the beginning of the game that he's on the list for first 9 seasons having the like over 30,000 something yards. But
so I'm gonna go with my I'm gonna take my top off again here for a quarterback. He won me a championship last year. I'm going Jalen Hurts. Got back on the right train there, right track. Got the tush push going.
Saves us every week.
Hey, the tush push is gonna be there. That's just part of the playbook, bro.
I'd hate to be a running back to play with that guy. I'd hate it.
Oh, bro, he just takes your candy every time you knock on the door. He's like, "That's mine." You know what it reminds me of? It's like Mike Allstott and oh my God, work done.
No, somebody posted a meme actually during that game or towards the end of that game on Thursday night, and it was that scene from Talladega Nights where the other driver, I can't remember, not Will Ferrell's character, the other character is at they're at a bar after one of the races. He's like, "Hey man,
yes.
what if one of those days like you slingshot me up ahead?" And he's like, "It sounds cool, but
he's like, "That sounds cool, but that means that I wouldn't finish first."
He's like, "Yeah, I didn't even think about that." Yeah, you're right. And so
you're right.
They said Philadelphia's running backs talking to Jalen Hurts. That's what the meme was.
What if you let me score a touchdown once? Yeah, but that's the tush push.
But I wouldn't. Yeah, I'm assuming he's eventually going to miss a week for sore buttocks. So I'm just kind of waiting. That's my fantasy advice. If you are a Jalen Hurts owner, be on the lookout around week 7 or 8 for soreness of the ass because it's gonna.
Hey,
I don't know if you guys have been punched in the ass. It hurts.
Sammer, though, on real talk here, and then Tony, you go right into your top for quarterback. There was a report today that McNabb spoke to Jalen Hurts. I don't know if you saw that or not, Tony. And he said, "Hey, what's going on, bro? You don't look quite, something looks off." And he revealed to McNabb that he is still suffering or dealing with repercussions of that shoulder injury from last year. He's only playing at about 65, 75%. Makes me very, very, very nervous. Very nervous as a Jalen Hurts owner right now. Oof. It explains a lot.
Also, before I forget, I did see this right before we got on to record. Rumor has it that Sean McVay said that they are shopping Cam Akers and that there's some teams possibly interested. So he could see a new team here pretty soon.
Wow.
My quarterback.
3 seasons. They've been saying that for 3 seasons now.
Yeah. It's kind of funny how the whole politics of the situation has happened. I don't.
Yeah.
It's probably going to come on the cheap if he does move. My quarterback guy kind of fooled you a little bit in the beginning of the game and then came motorboating through. We got Kirk Cousins, who ended up 31 for 364 and 4 tutties.
Oof. Massive. In prime time though? In a
loss.
Yeah. How do they do that all the time? They will boat race till the bitter end and then lose by less than a score all the time. It's got to be so frustrating.
Phillip Rivers was very, very good at that for a long time too.
Yeah.
Unless they're playing the Saints and they get the miracle in Minnesota. I love.
He showed up then. He showed up, yeah. That was a great throw.
Great throw, great catch. All of it. Great attempted tackle by the safety. All of it was.
Poppy, do you have any running backs that stuck out to you?
I do. He made it work somehow. It's just an athletic freak. We talked about him early with injuries. I have him on my team. Saquon had a good bounce back game. I expected him to against Arizona, and he did. He did his thing. I found myself screaming in the red zone, "Give him the ball!" And then at the end, I was screaming, "Don't give him the ball. The game is over. Just kick the field goal, put him on the sideline." But Saquon definitely had a bounce back game, and made me feel much more comfortable where I took him at the end of the first round this year. So that's who stood out to me.
For me, Brian Robinson.
That's easy. RB1.
Yeah, he came out. I'm kind of going on. I mean, we're only week 2, so I'm still kind of drawing from draft capital. Guys that may have been a huge value or is finally showing up. He came out and just showed that he can do it all. He can be a Swiss Army knife if they need it. 18 for 87, 2 tutties, 2-point conversion, and went 2 for 42 in the air. So that's definitely utility. That's something that young quarterback like Howell needs. So everybody played good. Washington's another team that I don't really think we expected to be ramped up quite like this and looking good already. So, yeah, Brian Robinson, good on you, bro.
I show any love to Bijan Robinson. 124 yards.
He had a great game.
He looked good.
No tutties.
No tutties. But he looked that good. He looked like a joystick out there, bro. That one run that's going around circling. I will never listen to me. I will never call it X. That one video that's going viral, circling on Twitter of him juking like 3 people out in a row. Did you see that, Sammer? That's not even. I'm not sure how your knees are supposed to move like that, bro. I saw that and I tore an ACL just watching it on my phone. It's not natural. Guy's a freak. Yeah. Absolutely.
And he also just stood out far and above number 2 this last week. So they're, they may lean on him a little heavier. Possibly might see somebody getting shopped there if they can get some good value.
You had a blow-up game, too, in that game by Drake London. Holy crap. 60 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's going off. That's his version of what Mike Evans did.
Yeah, and considering you got Ritter throwing the ball, it's a little tougher for him to explode. I really don't know what they're going to do about that situation besides Bijan.
More Bijan. They took him at 7. More Bijan. All right. Yeah. So we got top flops. What's next, Sammer?
I think we did.
Gotta go over the flops.
We didn't get any flops. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. My bad, guys.
Yeah, let's talk about those flops.
We definitely need to mention some flops.
I'll start with my running back flop. I have Eckler in the league. I picked up Joshua Kelly. I thought the usage would be there, and it was there. Absolute and complete, utter flop. I got 3 points out of the guy. He was out there. The snap percentage was high. I'm sure Tony might be able to find that. He's the guru with the numbers. He was out there a lot. You got everything
fab
you want.
Dollars in flames.
Yeah, but they just didn't work. They didn't go to him. Who actually ended up benefiting from it? Who was the waiver wire pickup replacement for Eckler? Was Keenan Allen. Apparently, they just went to Keenan Allen a bunch. So that was my flop as far as running back.
Yeah. Talking about running backs, I'm gonna go with one that's just gut punching me 2 weeks in a row now. Josh Jacobs finished for negative yards. Oof. -2.
Oof.
That is a flop.
Yeah, 9 for -2. Went 5 for 51 in the air, but who cares? It's not where we're expecting out of a guy that was the beast last year. Really expected more first couple weeks. I expected that position in fantasy to be locked down. Hopefully they can rectify the situation.
Tony, on a scale of 1 to 10, how badly are you panicking if you're a Josh Jacobs owner right now? Are you trying
I'm not really panicked. It's just, it's 2 weeks. It sucks to have 2 in a row.
Give me a number
1 to 10
meter. 1 to 10.
5.
5? Okay.
I think he turns it around. I do.
Okay.
And also honorable mention, another one that I've had to deal with because try to find some good value in the middle of the draft. Alexander Madison.
Ooh,
wow, dude, what are you doing? What's going on? Like, we're supposed to follow the opportunity. The team made the moves to make it look like he's the guy, and he's not performing like the guy.
No, he's not. Bad.
It hurts. Another league where I'm heavily invested because there's not many running backs starting, so didn't draft a whole lot. Gonna have to make some moves.
The good thing with him though is that there's not much behind him, just some Jags. So he's gonna get the volume. He's gonna get it. Hopefully it's a Josh Jacobs thing, and he ends up just voluming his way to something, because I know some people that took him, they spent some decent draft capital on him. As far as the last 2 weeks, it's been ugly. I have my flop at quarterback, if I may go.
Hopefully you're not going to take mine, because I've got some explaining to do. Go ahead.
Oh boy, I might think yours.
Go ahead.
Is it the guy that was like a deer in headlights?
No. He's a guy aforementioned. Go ahead.
I'll go with it because I saw it live. And guys, if there's a worry meter as far as me, as it relates to
1 to 10,
8, 8.5, 9.
Okay.
The red buzzer's going off. Justin Fields.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
If you took Justin Fields at his ADP, that was rich. And what you've got in the last 2 weeks, it's been ugly. He's not reading defenses. He's standing in the pocket 4 or 5 seconds. We're literally just letting him stand in the pocket.
Let go of the ball.
Stand there. He won't let it go, man. And he won't run either. I don't know what's going on. It looks bad. The
preseason hype was so real. Like, I want to say that it got me a little bit, But
everybody fell into the trap thinking that it was going to be Jalen Hurts going to the second year. They got him a stud receiver like they got A.J. Brown. They got him DJ Moore. It's Justin Fields' time.
I saw him miss an open.
They don't have a QB coach like and an offensive coordinator like they had for Jalen Hurts. Kid didn't look like he was reading defenses, and he looks like he's trying to be a pocket passer, so he's not running. But while he's doing that, he's not actually looking down the field. He had guys open. He just didn't throw the ball to them.
So. Yeah, I noticed that a lot. Progressions were slow. Ran straight into the scrum a few times.
Yeah.
They need the design runs. They got to do it.
He looks like a guy who's going to need a change of scenery in a year.
I
don't think it'll happen, but that's what he looks like.
Might be a little bit lower view from sitting down. Man.
Yeah, it's week 2, but I don't.
Who's playing him as their starting quarterback after week 1 anyway?
I mean, if you took him in the 5th round, bro, 5th, 6th round at his ADP, you're playing him. You don't have anybody else to play. You don't have a backup plan.
Might have some waiver wire options, but
okay, Jordan.
Yeah, that's our next segment. So I'll let you guys finish up your flops, and we can talk about who to replace.
So I'm gonna go. Mine is a tandem. I'm going my quarterback and receiver at the same time. Main reason. What's that?
Burrow and Chase.
You got it. I was preaching stacks. This draft season, and they're supposed to work out. They will work out in Cincinnati at some point. But, man, Chase owners, he was probably a top 3 pick. 2 weeks, you've had nothing, really. And Burrow does not look like he has his rhythm. I don't know. He doesn't look comfortable. Him and Chase are not clicking. I mean, I've seen design plays for Chase that they're just not hitting right. Wrong shoulder. And now he's hurt. I mean, we saw T. Higgins bounce back with 2 tutties this week, but yeah, it's just overall like Mixon's holding his own, but Cincinnati is not. They don't look like Super Bowl contenders like we saw, and they got to get it together. And Joey's got to get healthy before he can get the rhythm, get the timing back. I don't know what's going on in Cincinnati, but AFC North is a tough division. You gotta get it going soon.
Better wake up.
Funny. You know what's funny is that when I had asked you about my pre-draft questions and what I should do, you mentioned that, and then you were like, if you can get this to work, this is the stack you want. It did not work out for me that way. Thankfully. Otherwise, I'd be very, very upset with you right now.
Honestly, a lot of people would be wrong about that because, I mean, that's an Joe Burrow and Chase. That's a no-brainer.
I bought in. Don't worry. I had
everybody would assume.
Get this dude, and then get this guy later. We got it.
Tony, interesting one for you. I mentioned him earlier, and then we'll move on to waiver wire pickups. But if you're the Mike Evans owner, and this is interesting for me because I'm a fan, right? But I'm trying to look at this objectively. If you're the Mike Evans owner, are you trying to go get maybe an A.J. Brown and trade Mike off of this high game that he just had and go get an A.J. Brown that I mean, I'm sure the owners of A.J. Brown are kind of upset. 4 points and 3 points in the last 2 weeks. I mean, they're going to start targeting him, but it hasn't been everything you thought it would be so far. Would you be trying to trade for him?
Find somebody dumb enough in Dynasty, maybe, but in redraft, I'm really feeling Mike Evans this year, man. I mean, I think they all look like they're having a great time playing football, and that can make a huge difference. Mike, we talked about it before. Mike's trying to set records. He's the flagship mouth for the team this season. I think, just come on, guys, let's go. Let's get out here and prove them wrong. 2-0, 2-0, looking great, and he is the far and away number one target out there. Whereas AJ, we've seen hasn't gotten as much play, and Devonta Smith has the ability to take a game over.
Week 2 is on the books now, so we got to focus on week 3. Who do we need to pick up? Listen, I got Aaron Jones, so I have right off top, who should I pick up if this guy can't play? Because Pacheco is not doing shit for me on the bench. Sorry, he got me a measly 7.5 points. I can't stick with that guy in the long term if I'm going to be without Jones for a few weeks here. So, yeah. Waiver wire pickups, Tony and Latte.
No pressure. I mean, is Kyron still out there? Maybe. I doubt it.
It's a possibility. I mean, he's still available in a few leagues. If he's out there, grab him. I mean, I had a buddy of mine that I stopped. He asked me to take a look at his league, and I saw him just sitting in free agency over the week. So, yeah, pick him up. Who else do you think, Poppy? No,
I don't have any waiver wires. I'm sure Tony has
a lot. Zach Moss. Zach Moss is probably still out there. He was a waiver wire pickup last week, but a lot of people were kind of scared of the Indy backfield. He's only 32% rostered in most leagues. Go out there and take a look for him. We talked about Craig Reynolds. If Montgomery's going to be out for a few weeks, he could get some goal line work. And then also kind of a dark horse. I mean, if you have the option, maybe you have somebody else to fill in, has a good matchup this week. You could also throw Emmanuel Wilson, from the Packers out there. If something happens with Aaron Jones, we've seen splashes out of Wilson preseason. He once he gets out there in a real game, we'll see. He might have some juice, and we've seen some poor performances out of Dylan, so stash him. Throw him on the back of your bench in case, get ahead of the game.
See what happens. Speaking of ahead of the game, I don't have a waiver wire, a specific person to pick up, but I'm always scouring the waiver wire, right, Tony? Always looking just to see, it's like the NFL, right? You're always looking at your 53, you're looking at your practice squad. How can I upgrade it? How can I make it better? So I'm just scrolling, I'm looking, and I'm like, holy crap, the Steelers defense is out there. Huh. Who can I drop that I would care less about? And I believe I dropped Van Jefferson. Hasn't done anything the last 2 weeks. Clearly it's not him. It's going to be Puka. So I dropped him, pick up the Steelers. And this is something that I love to do, guys. I'll get a main defense, and then depending on the matchups or the bye week, if I have somebody that's doing nothing on the back of my bench and I have a defense that's out there that has a great matchup, I'll pick them up. I'll play them. Like this week, right? The Bucs are playing Philly. I'm not going to play the Bucs defense. Although I believe in them, I'm not going to do that. Guess who the Steelers play, Sammer?
Arizona Cardinals is my guess.
They play Las Vegas, who's been playing like crap. Las Vegas, who's been playing like crap. Then follow that up, they play Houston, rookie quarterback. I love playing DSTs against rookie quarterbacks. Why? Because rookies are like Justin Fields, except Justin Fields is not a rookie. They look like deer in headlights. They hold the ball. They take sacks. They throw picks. They get rattled easy. I love it. So for the next 2 weeks, I'm rocking with the Steelers defense.
Shout out to Stroud, though.
The entire
he went 386. I know, but he's still a rookie.
He's still a rookie.
For the rest of this season, my waiver wire pickup every single show is going to be whoever the Arizona Cardinals are playing.
Are you sure?
That defense.
No, Sam, yes. Are you sure? My boy did that with the Giants, and it backfired. He got 0 points because they scored 20 points on his ass.
I don't care. I didn't need it. I scored 168 points. Didn't matter.
You scored 168?
Yeah, just for fun.
You scored 168 with the team that Tony helped you put together?
Yeah, dude, listen, best team I've ever had.
I scored more.
We haven't even learned the offense yet. We're still getting we're still installing. All right, week in, week out here.
Hey,
so
he's still got a couple little diamonds on the bench.
Yeah. This is with Jones, not playing. Got this Pacheco guy just winning. Go have some fun. Whatever. Little participation start for Pacheco in there. That kind of thing. But,
hey, you mentioned that, Tony, but who did Houston play this week? Where Stroud had a good game, 386 in the air. I know he went off, but who did they? They
didn't run the ball very well. I'll tell you that. Their running back only got 5 points.
Was it the Colts?
Yes, it was the Colts.
Yeah,
the Colts. I'll take the Steelers defense over the Colts defense. They don't have
absolutely.
They don't have a Watt on there that's coming after you, screaming off the edge, coming after you, Stroud. So I feel good about it still.
And
I really
Nico went nuts.
Yeah, last thing left is Thursday night football preview with Tony and Latte.
What do you want to preview, man? Saquon's out. Daniel Jones and the Giants almost lost to the freaking Arizona Cardinals. They went into halftime, and the owners were like, Bidwell was like, "What are you doing?" It reminded me of the Bucks with Jameis Winston. They were winning at halftime against the Saints, and they were like, "Pull everyone. What the hell are you doing? We're trying to get Caleb Williams, bro." They got the message. Giants came screaming back, and they won the game. Daniel Jones didn't do much through the air, but he did it with his legs on the ground, along with Saquon. That's not going to happen against the Niners, man.
Yeah.
Your boy
Granted,
Brock Purdy didn't look great throwing the ball downfield, but they're just so good. They're gonna with Christian McCaffrey. It's a Niners world. You're starting your studs there on the Giants. I guess you're starting Waller. I don't know, Tony.
You gotta start Waller. You know. Other than that, I'm not really starting much. If I have someone else to start besides Jones, even after last week's performance, San Francisco's at home. It's going to be loud. There might be some garbage time in this game. That could be a positive. If you really have to start Jones, go for it. But yeah, if you can play a matchup, you got don't go picking scraps on the waivers. But yeah, I say
gonna have a massive game. CMC gonna have a massive game here.
Oh yeah,
CMC.
Who would be the best performer for the Niners? Obviously, it's very one-sided from what you guys are telling me right now. So who's the guy you circle that's going to be the dude for them?
It's always CMC, but Debo can have a game. Kittle could have a game. You can have a game depending on his shoulder and how healthy he is. They might limit him because they're gonna steamroll.
Yeah, they're talking snap count already. So I'm thinking Debo. Debo might get he might get a couple of those crazy wheel routes. I think he's gonna have himself a game. Kittle, not sure about. Starting to get a little worried there.
Riddle Kittle.
But are they facing a team that's not very good at covering tight ends? Are they worse against the run? Are they not good at covering running backs out of the backfield? That's what, I feel there's a Kittle Tuddy fest coming up soon. And I don't know if it's against the Giants or not. So I'm asking you guys if that's the dude you would go with here. I don't know anything about the Giants defense.
No.
Other than they are somehow letting everybody score every single time they go on the field.
I would not start Kittle, dude. When Debo's on the field, and Tony has the numbers, but the share that he gets when they're all on the field isn't that great, and it just wasn't good. They were on the field yesterday, it just wasn't good. I think it's going to be a McCaffrey type game. If you can stream a tight end, I would. Laporta is still available. He hasn't blown up yet. If you can get yourself some Laporta, get you some shares of Laporta, and keep them. If you have Kittle, I would have a backup plan. Is what
Hunter Henry might be out there in the waivers still.
Yeah, I'm not starting
34%. Got Luke Musgrave. Luke Musgrave's still highly involved, and K-Dotton is out there the whole game.
Ferguson too for the Cowboys. Look damn good.
Right, so
starting
Thursday
anybody.
Night Football is going to be extremely boring, and if you have majority of the 49ers offensive weapons, you're going to have a very good Thursday night heading into Sunday. And
you're a Giants fan? Sorry. Don't start no receivers, no quarter. No, none of it.
And we will have a second episode this week where we will talk about the rest of the games coming up. And Tony will be here and Latte will be here. And I'm going to ask you guys more ridiculously stupid questions about fantasy football because I'm kind of a noob. So we're going to go through it. We're going to go through every single one of those matchups leading up to Sunday. Help you guys out there win your league, one step at a time. Win your week.
Win your week.
Score some tutties. And eventually win.
You look like you're headed there, Sammer.
Oh, I'm doing my best, all right? I just got my guy. Listen.
Did you score the most?
One game at a time. Yeah, 2 weeks.
You scored the most. 2 weeks in a row? He's like, no big deal. Look at him.
No big deal. Yeah, listen, I don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves.
He's acting like he's been there before,
Yeah, I want to act like I've been here before, right?
Oh.
Yeah, I win with class, and I lose without class. That's how it works.
Yeah.
Sammer's team slogan, I'm not kidding, is he is the best at being humble.
The best. You will never find anyone more humble than I.
Nobody is better at it than him.
If you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'm very sure you will enjoy many more episodes in the future, please hit the like button. leave us a comment if you have questions leading up to the Sunday slate of games and the Monday night game coming up. We'll do our best to answer as many of those as possible. Find us on Twitter, of course, with the hashtag FantasyTuddiesMailbag. We'll answer as many of those questions on the next episode, help you get your lineup set. And, of course, if you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Again, leave us a comment, hit the like button. And Latte, one last thing.
Yes, make sure you're following us on Twitter, guys. at Big Tuddies. You can follow me as well, right there, lower thirds, at Poppy Latte. You can follow Tony, who's always updating the Tuddies account and interacting and all that stuff. Make sure you follow us there. And if you're listening to our beautiful voices, we look great. Okay? We look great because of Sammer. This is all coming to you in 4K. Make sure you go check out our YouTube channel. You know,
he's been
Loose Cannons, check it out.
Too.
Beautiful.
All right,
appreciate it, buddy.
Tony, Latte, go watch some Monday Night Football. Have some wings.
Buddies.
And as always,